Hey, I got that time. Everybody, welcome. I'm just practicing. You are tuned in to the 67th Songbike Guitar Q&A live stream here on YouTube. Hey, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Things are good here in small town Connecticut. Does that sound better if I aim the microphone at my face? Not a bad idea. Hey, Matt, William, Brian, hello, everybody. We got a bunch of you here already. And we got a super chat. Bill, thank you for your super chat already. I appreciate that. I'm here for your questions. So bring them. Bring your questions. Put a couple question marks in advance so I know it's a question aimed at me. In between your questions, of course, I have stuff to share with you. We have a poll question up and running. The poll question is, do you ever take lessons? Ever? Did you ever take any guitar lessons ever? And I will tell you right now, I'm able to give you 4 choices. So the 4 responses include, yes, you have taken lessons at some point in your guitar career, in-person lessons with a teacher, sitting in the same room and everything. Option 2, yes, you have taken lessons specifically with a teacher online. Option 3, no, you never took lessons. You learned from friends and family kind of more casually. And option number 4, which is in the lead right now, no lessons. You learn from videos and tab websites and stuff like that. So jump into that poll if you have not voted already. Hey, Scott Rhodes. Other topics we're going to cover today. I can't wait to share with you my new chord melody songbook. The book is done. I just need to put a few finishing touches on the video, and it will be for sale shortly. I want to share some information about that book with you. A new segment I'm going to call Who's in Town? Who's in town? I will tell you who's in town. Right across the street at the theater, someone's in town. I want to share that performer's name with you. We're going to do an exercise based on Mary Jane's Last Dance by Tom Petty. I've been meaning to get to this exercise for 1 or 2 live streams now. Today's the day it's going to happen. I have a new pinky workout for your fretting hand pinky. We're going to expand on the workout we did last time. One of my favorite segments of the live stream called Some of the Coolest Musicians on YouTube. I got 4 to share with you this week. 4 awesome people. 3 I've never mentioned before. One, the name is going to ring a bell. Hey, it's Rocktober. Nobody says Rocktober anymore. Is there a war on Rocktober or something? Happy Rocktober, everybody. Rocktober. I think I remember, rock and roll DJs and rock and roll radio stations would make a big deal about Rocktober, this time of year. I have a dumb question of the week. It's a dumb one, but you're going to like it. We have a play along song of the week. I'm going to try and experiment with this week's play along song, not with the play along part. The play along part's going to go great, but I have an experiment. And we're going to get to the segment I like to call, Should I Sell Out? We have more and more offers for me to sell out. I don't think we got to this last time. People who have products and they want me to pitch those products to you, and the products almost never have anything to do with music or playing the guitar. So that is, if that doesn't fill up the next 2 hours, I don't know what will. It'll fill it up. Lisa Marie, hello. Christian from Denmark, hello. Randy, Bruce from Sydney, and Byron, maybe Byron is watching too. Bruce says it's football grand final day in Sydney. That sounds so important. It really does. And it's just a really beautiful Saturday here in the US. Although I'm sure there's some big football games. American football. Lisa checking in from Colorado. Randy checking in from Colorado. All right. Chaz, hello. And Chaz is wishing my wife happy birthday. Some of you may be interested to know that last Monday, a few days ago, I took my wife to a little birthday concert. Suzanne Vega was in town here in small town Connecticut. So we went to see Suzanne Vega, and she put on a great show. She was joined by a guitarist who was terrific. He was playing a Paul Reed Smith semi-hollow body guitar, a couple of F-holes cut in there, and a bunch of effects. And he was really tastefully accompanying her. Did some looping as part of his accompaniment of her. Really added so much. His name was Gerry Leonard, Gerry with a G, G-E-R-R-Y, Gerry Leonard. In fact, I think you can follow him on Instagram. Bear with me for a second. I think on Instagram, Gerry Leonard, you can find him at, I believe, and I want to get this wrong, I was not familiar with him. Yes, Spooky Ghost Graham. I'll put that in the description of this video. Spooky Ghost Graham. Spooky, common spelling. Ghost, common spelling. And then G-A-R-M, like Instagram, right? Gerry Leonard did a really, really sweet job accompanying her on guitar. Of course, I was enjoying Suzanne Vega and her performance, and seeing how she reached into her bag of old tunes and then some newer tunes. Very cool. Her voice sounded great. But I was turned on by the guy throwing in all the bonus guitar stuff. Very cool. Zulozia Zombie checking in from Poland. Zulozia says, I missed last week's stream. Hope you had a wonderful birthday with your wife. I think it was, we'll have to ask her, but I thought it was we had a pretty good time. It was a good birthday. And I recommend seeing Suzanne Vega if she comes through your neck of the woods. G. Woodward, also from Colorado. Wait a minute, we got three. That over 10% of the viewers at the moment are from Colorado. I realize Colorado is a big state, but let's get to the questions. And I see Bruce, you have a question right away. Bruce says, I'm starting to teach my 14-year-old nephew how to play the guitar. My approach to playing is that foundations in knowledge is important. How do you keep the first few months engaging? Excellent question. For the last, that's a question I've been asking myself for decades, since 1992. Success. You want to have success. You guys might remember that one of the formative experiences I had that led to me being, knock on wood, a halfway decent, successful teacher. We'd play with little cats when I was little, right? We had kittens that grew to be adult cats, and we'd play with them with toys. My mom would say, let them win sometimes. You can't always, be too fast or too clever. You got to let the cats win sometimes when you play with the cats with a toy. And that stayed with me. And now when I teach, I give myself the same advice I'm going to give you. You got to let the student win sometimes. Not that it's a competition, but success. You need those tastes of success. I have my own personal definition of like success on a musical instrument. You guys each have your definitions. And that all is important, but what really matters is what makes Bruce's 14-year-old nephew feel successful. And these things hopefully can overlap. Quick example. Many, many, many people feel successful when they can play good old Muddy Waters. Many of you know that as the Bad to the Bone riff. Okay, now I found that to be pretty successful as a teacher. I like to teach it. Students like to play it. We all win, right? So to keep the first few months engaging, you need those bite-sized things, those short, catchy things. Some of them some of them you are going to have to find out what the student knows. Anything that can make them feel like they can do it. One of the common questions I get, pretty much, if someone's going to ask this question, they ask it within the first 2 lessons. They say, have you ever had a student that just can't play guitar, just can't do it? And for all the students who do ask me that question, there's probably 10 that are thinking it but don't ask it. Because for many of us, the big question is, can I even do this thing? So 14 years old, 14 years old, you're still a kid, right? You figure out what you can do, what you can't do, or, a lot of things seem daunting, right? When you're 14. So as much success as possible. Bruce, when you say foundations in knowledge are important. So when I hear the word knowledge, I'm thinking brain stuff, music theory, reading music, that I would tread lightly there and focus more on power chords. Good old something with power chords. Good old Smells Like Teen Spirit there. It seems, even though that's not a new song, it's classic rock at this point, right? It does seem to sink into people's consciousness at a very young age. Seven Nation Army, right? Seven Nation Army. Very, primitive, but it gets us, right? Seven Nation Army, Smoke on the Water. I'm not saying that's all you're going to do with a student, but that might be all the student remembers from the lesson. We do all this stuff. Mom says, how was a lesson? I can play Smoke on the Water. That's great. So, you got to read the student. I think I'm better at reading students now than I was in 1992 when I started. I'm pretty sure I'm better at it. So you got to read the student, see what gets them engaged. And sometimes, just finding the right thing. Sometimes that one thing, which to us might be like, well, I mean, when I say us, I mean people who have played the guitar for a few years. Smoke on the Water is a cute little thing you learn how to play. And maybe you're so far past that, or, that's not why you pick up the guitar at this point, right? Don't underestimate how something short and catchy and powerful and classic and memorable, a student can float on cloud nine for weeks because they got that thing. But you don't know what that thing is going to be. It very well might not be Smoke on the Water or Seven Nation Army. I had a mom one time said, could you give my son a new song this week? I said, what do you mean? I give him a new song every week. She says, all he plays at home is This Land Is Your Land. Hey, the heart wants what the heart wants. I didn't say that to her, but the kid felt successful. Oh, I have a Harry Potter. I have a student where I show him the Harry Potter theme song, single note melody, nothing fancy, just write out in tab. The kid got so good at it. You remember this story from a couple of months ago? The kid he could play it with his eyes closed. Without a doubt, he could play it with his eyes closed. He played it with the right rhythm. Anyone who's ever been to a Harry Potter movie would 100% recognize that he was maybe 7, played it perfectly, beautifully. I couldn't play it any better than him. That was his thing. We played other stuff in our lessons, but if there was a lull in the fighting during a lesson, if I was, reloading my lesson plan, he would jump in and start playing the the Harry Potter theme song. So you got to find that thing. Star Wars. Now, again, I'm talking about my experience. None of these may not all be appropriate for your 14-year-old nephew, but the theme from Star Wars, the main theme, or also the Imperial March, the Darth Vader theme. Any of those, sometimes those are what a student connects with. And those are timeless because so many kids are so into Star Wars. Bruce, you have an agenda, it sounds like, and that's good. You want to go in with a battle plan. But, what do they say? Every plan, as soon as the first shots are fired, the plan, has to adapt. So in a perfect world, you'd have a handful of those catchy things to balance out all the stuff that we all know is really important, really important. Charlie Beagle, hello. John Cavallo, hello, John. John, I'm going to send you my son's resume. My son is, starting the second year of college and looking at summer internships next summer. So, John, I'm gonna send you that. Hope you're doing well, John. Beginner Guitar Lessons is our moderator. His name is Blue. He gets a wrench. Beginner Guitar Lessons has a baseball card channel that you guys should check out. So Beginning Guitar Lessons, if you have your keyboard handy, could you remind us all how to find you on your YouTube channel so people can, all those baseball card fans can check out what you are posting. Hey, see what I put behind me here? This is what I do so I don't forget to mention something, you guys. I mentioned this product a while ago. Super duper handy if you have a guitar that doesn't have a strap button right there. Usually it's acoustic guitars and they don't have a button right there. You can drill a button in. It's not rocket science. but for a few bucks, the D'Addario Acoustic Quick-Release. It's a very cool device. They don't pay me to show you this. It's just me showing you a cool product. I know it's a little bit hard to see, but one end loops around your headstock under your strings behind the nut. The other end goes through the hole in your strap. Hold on, okay, I got those strap locks, but the other end would go right where that silver button is. Imagine the silver button's not there. And then you link the two things together. It couldn't be easier. They click together like that. And you have solved your strap issues. Every once in a while, this comes up, and I can never remember the exact name of it. I just know it's a cool D'Addario product. So again, the D'Addario Acoustic Quick-Release. I definitely recommend that everybody plays with a strap, even if you play sitting down most of the time or all the time. No matter what kind of guitar you have, in general, it's potentially it solves a lot of problems, and it certainly just gives you a feeling of stability. So if your missing strap button is what's holding you back from getting a strap, there you go. And then once you have that, then the world is full of straps of all kinds from all different materials. I got, by the way, in case you're curious, my cool strap, which I love very much, is one of several I've bought from the Denali Strap Company. Denali, like the mountain range, Denali. Denali straps, handmade. They have tons of cool designs, and I recommend them highly. Yeah. So there you go. That's why that was sitting back there. Okay, now I'm going to move it out of the camera shot. Yeah, there we go. Cutting cards. Beginner guitar lessons baseball card channel is called Cutting Cards. Okay, you guys. Now, big news. I am going to share with you some art. Here comes some art. Bear with me here. I want to show you. There we go. Okay. My chord melody book. There we go. This should pop up on your screen. If screen goes black for a second, give it a minute, or it might pop up right now. See that smiling face? There we go. What you are looking at, or what you're about to look at, is the cover art of my, can you see that okay? The cover art. There we go. Your YouTube sharing window. Okay. Hope you can see that. Yeah, there you go. The cover art of my new book. There you go. Sorry, multitasking. The book is done. It's going to officially be available for sale in a few days, probably end of next week, just to be safe. You can see I managed to work my new guitar into the cover art there. And what else? There's a list of the tunes, although you guys have heard me talk about this book for months, so you're probably familiar with a lot of the tunes that are in this book. Why is it not available tonight? Here is what's up. I need to take the video, which is me performing all 30 chord melody arrangements, and I just need to tidy it up so each one fades nicely into the next. And I film a little intro of me saying, hey, thanks for checking out my video. So just a quick little edit, and then put it up on YouTube. So the video that accompanies this book is going to be free for anybody to watch on YouTube. But you don't want to just watch it. You want to get the tab to learn how to play the 30 songs, right? And that's where the book comes in. So the book, what do I have left to do for the book? I have to fix the table of content. Hang in there. Here comes, I think I have the table of contents here. I have to get that. Oh, no, it's okay. No, I don't have that one. That's all right. Cancel. Okay. So that every song title has the page number next to it. I haven't done that yet. So you can find it easily. So this book, quick reminder, is going to be an e-book, meaning when you order the book, it comes to you right away, instantly, as a PDF. And if you don't get it right away, it's either because you misspelled your email address or somehow went to your spam folder. It is not a hard copy book. I'm going to print up a hard copy book like this one because I can use it for my teaching, and I just like holding on to it. I'm so proud of it. But I'll say this so many times in the next few weeks. It's not a real book that comes in the mail. It's a book that gets emailed to you as a PDF instantly. And then you can choose to print it out, or you can print out one song at a time, or you can just look at it on your computer and save a treat, and life is good. Bill Collier says, when are you starting the next book? Well, you notice I called it Volume 1. Did you notice that in the cover? I called it Volume 1. So I'm already thinking about the follow-up, which might be all Beatles songs, maybe a few dozen Beatles songs done in that chord melody style. Oh, speaking of which, okay. When our live stream started, I was playing this. Here's a Beatles song from the book done in the chord melody style. And I'll stop talking for a minute, and then we'll regroup. Recognize that? Okay. I'm playing the melody. That's how you know it's Norwegian Wood by the Beatles. But I'm often including chord strums to flesh out the melody. If I did not include the chord strums, it would be okay. It would sound nice for a beginner to play. I mean, it's nice, right? It's okay, but ooh, it's more satisfying, right? Okay, so that's a taste. That's what it means when someone describes an arrangement as a chord melody arrangement. Beautiful style. I take a lot of pride in the end result when I spend some time on a song and I, to the best of my ability, I arrange it with pretty simple chords. But you hear the whole song come to life. Norwegian Wood right there. Guess how many chords? For the record, Your Honor, I'm holding up 3 fingers. E major, E minor, and B7. In between those chords are those some nice single note runs and stuff, melodic, the melody of the tune. But I mean, come on, E, E minor, and B7. That's it. Those are all the chords you need to know. So in my mind, this is intermediate level stuff. And when I say, don't forget, my definition of beginner is someone who just got their guitar yesterday. Okay. This is intermediate level stuff. It has chords that a beginner is going to be familiar with, like E minor, right? But it asks your picking hand to be really discriminating and very, make little subtle strums that may not involve multiple, like all 6 strings. E minor, you get to strum all 6 strings, or E major, all 6 strings. Well, what if it was crucial that you only strummed 4 of the 6, and it had to be the right 4? That's what this style asks you to do. So intermediate level stuff, by my definition, intermediate level stuff. Okay, so there's 29 other songs in the book besides Norwegian Wood. And if you were to press me, I can do this with screen sharing. Okay, bear with me. Come on here. I can show you the other ones. Do I have this still? Oh, I know how to do it. A lot of classic tunes, and many of the tunes were suggested by you guys. Okay, don't go anywhere. Share screen, window. Come on. Sometimes this fights me. Entire screen. No. That's it. That's the one I want right there. Okay, now this is where the screen might go black for a minute. Hang in there. If the screen goes black, give it a second. And right about now, I'm hoping that you can see It's the table of contents. I wish I were a little bit bigger. I don't know if I can make it any bigger. 30 songs, including After the Gold Rush by Neil Young, Alice's Restaurant, Old Lang Syne, Autumn Leaves, Blue Eyes, Crying in the Rain, Can't Help Falling in Love, Cockles and Muscles, also known as Molly Malone, Deck the Halls, Fields of Gold by Sting, Georgia on My Mind, I Hope That I Don't Fall in Love with You by Tom Waits, Let It Be, Make You Feel My Love by Bob Dylan, Minuet in G, Moon River, Morning Has Broken, Norwegian Wood, All 55. The Eagles made that famous, but who wrote that song, All 55? One of you guys requested that song. I'm pretty sure that's how it got in the book. Who wrote All 55? One of you guys knows that. Send in the Clowns. I'm very proud of my arrangement of Send in the Clowns. It came out great. Shenandoah, Silent Night, Summertime, The Tennessee Waltz. Bill Collier, did you request the Tennessee Waltz? I think that was one of your requests. The Water Is Wide. That was a request from somebody. Turn the Page was a request. What a Wonderful World. Louis Armstrong also came out great. That arrangement came out great. When Irish Eyes Are Smiling, Wild Mountain Time, Yesterday by the Beatles, and another arrangement that came out great, You've Got a Friend from Carole King. Can you see that table of contents right there? So I really, I'm going to stop sharing. I really enjoy arranging tunes this way, and that's why I feel confident saying that is volume one. This will be volume one of many. And I see some questions coming in. Excellent. Okay, bear with me for a second. Scott Rhodes says, when you buy a strap, how much do you consider the guitar model? I've been playing a limited edition Epiphone Les Paul this week. I love how it sounds, but it's heavy. Yeah, interesting. There definitely are straps marketed towards people who play heavy instruments. Especially performers standing on stage with a big old bass guitar for 3 sets. I can't speak to how effective those are. I imagine they are. Some of them have like a crisscross thing going on the back. I mean, it's a lot of thought has gone into them. Some have a wider part that goes over your shoulder, some extra padding. But I have not tried any of those. I bet they have a positive effect. So I don't consider, I don't have a big guitar collection, and the guitars that I do have are pretty straightforward, nothing super heavy like a Les Paul. But it's definitely worth thinking about, especially if you play standing up a lot, or you are performing standing up. Yeah, worth thinking about. In this day and age, we've all grown accustomed to the Amazon business model. So whether you buy from Amazon or not, I think the whole return policy thing has become much more liberal, right, in the last 10, 20 years. I think any online retailer fully expects a certain percentage to come back as returns. So get a strap, treat it gently, check it out. If it doesn't work for you, send it back, But I highly recommend supporting a small strap company, for example, Denali Straps. I've also heard couch straps are good. COUCH, couch straps. Okay. I saw another question here. Steve, hello, Steve. Steve asked, why are we called Songbike? Why indeed? As a kid, I loved songs. I love bikes. I would ride my bike, do what I had to do on my bike, and always had a little song going in my head. So way back when, more than 10 years ago, I was looking for a cool name for my website, which is www.song-bike.com. And I like that name, stuck with it, Songbike. So you guys are bikers. If you're here watching right now, there's 37 of you. You guys are all bikers. Don. Hey, Don. Don has a question. Don says, "Hi, Jonathan. Dumb question. If you're playing an electric guitar, do you risk getting a shock by wearing metal rings on your fretting fingers?" No, not a dumb question. No, I've never heard of that. So I wouldn't worry about it. I also wouldn't play in the rain, just to be on the safe side. Remember when Prince played at the Super Bowl? Didn't Prince play in the rain during the Super Bowl? I thought that was, he went above and beyond doing that. some amongst the people watching right now, or amongst the people who are going to be watching this in the next, few days, I'm sure there are people who know a lot more about electricity than I do. So there's definitely, especially if you're playing a guitar with single coil pickups, like that black one right there. Well, technically a P90 right here is a single coil pickup. When you touch the strings and any light buzzing that was there diminishes or goes away completely, you have completed a circuit, and you're part of the circuit. That's everything I know. So given that your body is now part of the thing, it's worth asking, am I doing anything dangerous? There's that Keith Richards got a really zapped early on in the Rolling Stones, somewhere in the mid '60s. He got zapped really badly on stage, right? And they had to cancel the show. And obviously he bounced back. But it's real. All I can tell you, Don, is I've never heard of anyone having an issue with rings. But there's a lot I don't know. And that's the whole the danger involved in playing electric guitar. I'm sure I don't know all the dangers. I do know not to mess around with my amp, because even if your amp is unplugged, there's stuff inside there, and I and you should not mess with an amp, even if it's unplugged. Just don't do it. DJ Batman says this conversation is shocking. Poopa John says, I don't ride a bike without a motor. Yeah, I've done that too. Charlie Beagle wants to find a strap with a psychedelic motif. Listen, man, there's so many straps out there. I mean, so many possibilities. Barry James, hello, Barry. Thanks for joining us. Bob knew that Tom Waits was the author of Old 55, and the Eagles recorded pretty early in their career. And I'm sure that was a nice little paycheck for Tom Waits, and I'm sure it remains a nice paycheck to this day. Hey, how about my dumb question of the week? I got a dumb question for you. It's so dumb I have to look back to see. Okay, now this is a philosophical dumb question, but something to chew on. My dumb question of the week: how do you know if you're good enough on the guitar? How do you know? When do you get to where you want to be? Do you have a concrete idea of where you want to be? It's not a bad idea. John Mayer, I saw recently online a clip of John Mayer. He might have said this a long time ago, but recently I saw the clip. He said I'm paraphrasing without a doubt, one of the problems, he said, of people who become successful in the music business is or people who aren't becoming successful in the music business, they don't have concrete, specific goals. And so they never get to where they want to be, or even when they're successful, they have a feeling that they're not quite where they want to be. Long story short, he was saying you got to have some very specific, attainable goals. Otherwise, you go crazy, and you won't know if you're getting anywhere. So my dumb question, and I'm sure I liked how he said it. I'm not sure if I like how I just said it. So my dumb question of the week again: how do you know if you're good enough at the guitar? Will you ever be good enough? And if the answer is no, I get it, but that's a tough way to go, And if the answer is, oh, I'm good enough when Eric Clapton has me guest star in one of his concerts, okay. I mean, good luck with that, But in light of my own dumb question, I encourage you guys to set very specific, concrete goals. One time, a guy came to me in the summer, total beginner, just got his guitar. And he said, I want to record a Christmas song with my girlfriend. I'm going to play guitar. We're both going to sing. And we want to do that as a Christmas, a video Christmas card to all our family. There it was. It was June, July. And he had a very concrete goal. And we did it. It was week after week of I think 2 or 3 Christmas songs. And it was a concrete goal. And he did it, and he still plays to this day. But that was how he started. So I encourage you guys to set as many reasonable concrete goals as possible. A metronome is one way to do it. I'm going to play this scale, and scales are nice because scales are so predictable, and whatever scale you want to talk about, scales, it is what it is, right? So I'm going to play with a metronome at 80 beats per minute. I'm going to use down-up picking. I'm going to make sure every note rings nice and clearly. I'm going to use the same fingering every time. I'm not going to start inventing new fingerings. Crank it up to 90. Crank your metronome up to 100. If you don't have a metronome, there's lots of free metronome apps out there. So that's a concrete goal, right? Another concrete goal is, getting a song ready for a certain occasion. Should be an easy song. Don't beat yourself up. Don't say, I want to play every note from Stairway to Heaven in 10 days. Although, you guys remember, we have been working on Stairway to Heaven here in these live streams. I think live stream 59 was when we started, and we're on live stream 67 right now. But you know what I'm saying? If you've never done this before, pick an easy song like the songs that we do in our live stream play-alongs, or a simple riff or something. Pick something that seems easy, but make it your goal to nail it. Just nail it. So that's my dumb question, and those are some of my philosophical responses to my own dumb question. Philosophical, but also not so philosophical. Like, no, get a metronome, play the scale at that certain tempo, pick up the speed, go faster and faster, and then pick a metronome marking, that is maybe just out of reach, and see what you can do, So there's my dumb question. A to Z me. Hey, you like my haircut? I like my haircut too. It came out okay. I won't need another one for a little while. Those of you who missed the live stream last week, that was my big reveal. My new haircut. I feel 5 pounds lighter. Okay. So how about I'll teach you a lesson. I'll teach you a lesson you never forget. Oh, I can't wait. Ooh, I hope you're sitting down. I'm very excited about this. And you'll see, I don't know if you'll see why I'm excited, but you'll see what I'm talking about in a second. Last live stream, I showed you this little thing here, which was a pinky exercise based on a D major chord. So those black dots represent where your fingers are for your classic D major chord. The white dots are notes that sound good, that are available with a little practice for your pinky. Okay? For the record, we have the D chord. We have a white dot on the G string. That's the third skinny string, 4th fret. Should sound like that. The D string, 4th fret. And the A string, 4th fret. Number one reason why we're even having this conversation, we're giving your pinky a workout. That's the number one reason. Number two reason, we're dressing up a D chord. You're going to play a lot of D chords in your life. Isn't it nice to know you can do something with a D chord, right? One of the many, many, many things you can do with a simple old D chord is involve your pinky in some capacity. Just then, I was playing a little melodic run. It kind of has a nice little bluegrassy kind of sound, right? And this is what we did last live stream. With down-up picking, I did 3rd string 4th fret and 3rd string 2nd fret. That's where my index finger is anyways. Moved over to the 4th string 4th fret and 4th string open, and then 5th string 4th fret, 5th string open, and then a return to the open 4th string for a little closure. To get away from that bluegrassy kind of thing, if that's not your vibe, what about simply adding your pinky while you're doing light downstrokes? Nice little melodic stuff, right? I was doing all light downstrokes. By the way, I'm holding the pick so loosely, and I'm trying to focus my exact strum on wherever the action is, right? So the listener can hear that pinky note. If I was brushing all 4 or 5 strings during this D chord, if I was strumming everything with a broad stroke, the pinky notes might get lost in the shuffle, right? Okay, so why am I excited? Because it occurred to me that what we just did with the D chord, oh man, that's the tip of the iceberg, my friends. Okay, so, and again, we're doing this for 2 reasons. We want to make your pinky quick, strong, smart, coordinated, dexterous. Okay, check out, let's do this one. Same concept, E major. Oh, I love this one. In this case, the pinky is jumping in on the 2nd fret. All those white circles, those are notes that are available to your pinky during an E major chord. Somebody write a cool song using these notes. So I'm keeping my E chord in place. By the way, it really helps to have your thumb pointing up towards the ceiling. See how my thumb is basically hidden from view? You can't see my thumb right now, right? It's not hanging out up there. Nothing wrong with that in some situations, to have your thumb, just sort of casually gripping the top of your neck. But here, my pinky is far more confident and capable when my thumb is hidden behind the neck. Again, to get that melodic effect, I'm doing down up picking, skinny string, 2nd fret, skinny string open, 2nd string, same thing, 2nd fret, and then open, 3rd string, 2nd fret, and the 3rd string has my index finger on the 1st fret right there. Again, instead of plucking out individual strings like that, you could do light down strums on the E major chord. I'm going to focus on the skinnier strings. I'm not even strumming the 2 bass strings. Okay, get the idea? What about doing that same concept on a C chord? Okay, check it out. Look at all those white circles. Grab your C chord, pinky on the 1st string, 3rd fret, 2nd string, 3rd fret, 3rd string, 3rd fret, 4th string, 3rd fret. Right? Those are all just waiting there for you, right? You're dressing up the chord, okay? I was going to do F, and then I thought, wait a minute, some of you folks, I know F might not be your favorite chord. So everything I'm about to show you, you can do with a regular F chord, but I thought I'd go easy on you. Let's apply it to an F major 7, the easy F. F major 7 is when you allow the skinny 1st E string to ring as an open string. Beautiful sound. Sometimes you can play this instead of the regular F, sometimes. Sometimes you have to play this because it's the right chord, F major 7, okay? Get that open 1st string. Okay, what are we talking about though? Pinky, 3rd fret. So pretty, right? So pretty. Okay, and last one, the big one. Whoa, look at that. Can you imagine how happy I was when I realized, wait a minute, on A minor, with a little practice, any note, any string, I should say, any string at the 3rd fret is potentially a really nice complement to your traditional A minor chord. Oh, there's something there, right? am I doing? Down, up picking on individual strings, pinky on the 3rd fret, but then the pinky off. Pinky on the 3rd fret, another string, but the pinky off. So I'm plucking the same string with the pinky and then without the pinky. My A minor chord never moves though, right? Okay. Whether or not you write a hit song using one of these chords with this technique, your pinky is going to get so much stronger and more capable. And knock on wood, for years and years to come, when you're strumming one of these chords or any chord where the pinky is sort of just sitting out that chord, you think to yourself, wait a minute, couldn't I do a little something with that pinky? Could I embellish this chord a little bit? The absolute most practical time to introduce something like this is when you're on the chord and the singer is singing, or maybe you're the singer, you're singing, and there's a moment where the melody is over. The singer has stopped singing. There's a few beats of space, and the singer is singing, and they're singing about life, and then they stop singing, and you go, and then the singer starts singing again, right? And you just did a cool little fill based on whatever the chord happened to be at that moment, right? And a little goes a long way, right? What I just did there was nothing. That was, that I didn't break a sweat. But musically, to the listener, that doesn't matter whether it was hard or not hard. They just heard a cool little fill, a cool little thing. Okay, so there you go. This is the kind of thing that gets me excited, and it makes me want to wet my whistle. Hold on here. What appears to be coffee. This is going to be so sad. You want to hear what this really is? This is water in my coffee cup. I know it's just something sad about that. I didn't have time to get to the to buy myself a funner drink. I know, man. That's a sad. I don't even have a good excuse. That is sad. Who does that? Okay. So J. Paul Getty, you like that? A to Z Me, learning how to play Let It Be. Excellent, excellent, excellent. A to Z Me says, my pinky's a bit of a rebel, does whatever it wants. Yeah, that means you're human. I mean, that's exactly as it should be. And we're all like working on that. J. Paul says, Melanie, the folk singer Melanie, played In the Rain on an acoustic guitar. Nobody else would go on stage because of the rain. Everyone loved her. Oh, right, during Woodstock. Gotcha. Yeah. In terms of the my dumb question where I asked, how do you know if you're good enough on the guitar? Rock Lobster says, if you can't put it down, you're good enough. Sure, that sounds great. I like that. Scott Rhodes says, anything in the arts, can you ever be good enough? There's always something to learn. Yeah. Remember that song, Garden Party? You can't please everybody, might as well please yourself. Who's that? Someone put his name in the chat. Garden Party. It's funny because that song, a lot of people really love that song. Obviously, it's a hit song, but the lyric is very, very specific. It's the songwriter, the singer-songwriter, talking about a very specific event. You got it, Scott Rhodes. And I'm not sure. I mean, I like the song okay, but it's one of those songs that's so specific about some human being's very, very, unique experience. I guess it just shows what a nice melody and a nice beat and nice singing can do. Ricky Nelson's song Garden Party. That's a great song, but it's not one of those universal love songs that everybody can relate to in some way. Benjamin, hey Benjamin. Benjamin asks, I want to try slide blues. Any tips before getting into it? Yeah, definitely. It's a great question. Slide guitar. I knew I had my slide here for a reason. Slide guitar is, oh man, sometimes I think to myself, slide guitar is my favorite style of the guitar. Like if I could only play one style, but I could play it really well, it'd be slide guitar. Sometimes that's just where my head is at. So in terms of starting out on slide guitar, yeah, there's a bunch of things to think about. Of course, the ideal thing is working with a really great slide teacher who's, lives next door, and you get 2 lessons a week and each lesson is 2 hours long. And okay, but whether or not that's a possibility, I actually have a list. Do I have that handy? Oh my gosh, I think I do. Okay, bear with me, because I could wing it, but I actually think I have it, because I do hope someday to like do an actual slide program, not just a single chit chat about slide. No, it's not there. Bear with me, you guys. I'm going to zip back here, because if I can find it, we all win. I have a big brass. Oh, there we go. Holy cow. There we go. Sorry, I keep bumping the mic, you guys. That cannot be too fun to listen to. Oh, what just happened? Slide. Okay, but it's not right there. Here's something. I know where it is. Hold on. It's back over here, maybe. Come on. I have a big old brass slide on my finger. I do not necessarily recommend that. Oh, darn it. Where else would this be? Slide guitar. But if you have a brass slide, that's great. But if you don't, that's okay. The Pyrex, the types of plexiglass, are very practical, although if you drop them, they break, and that can be frustrating. Darn it. Okay, I'm going to look one more place. Oh, Google Drive. Okay, don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. I have all these documents saved in different places, and I made a list. Oh, sucker. There it is. Okay. So what I'm about to show you, Benjamin, my gift from me to you. And I don't expect, maybe you can do a screenshot. Anybody who wants to can do a screenshot right here. Bear with me. That one. Okay, going to do. And I know there may be several of you who are interested, okay, who are interested in slide guitar. Okay, that's the one right there. I think, bear with me if this doesn't pop up right away. Give it a second. I think it should pop up. There we go. Oh, everybody see that okay? If not, give it a second. Okay. And I see you guys are already giving some good advice about slide guitar. For instance, Scott Rhodes says you want to try on a slide before you buy it, or buy several different ones and see which one fits the best. Yeah. So, okay, for those of you who might be listening to this someday, this is a list I made that was my way of getting my own brain into teaching slide. I have a bunch of books on slide guitar. I've certainly read a lot about slide, from reading interviews with my favorite players. So here's some tips. Use your bare fingers with your picking hand. Do not use a plastic pick. Don't do it. There's so much subtle stuff that you can do with your bare fingers. Even if you've never used your bare fingers before, now is the time to start. Put the slide on your pinky, your little finger. Yes, you will see people who put their slide everywhere else. If you've never played slide before, use your pinky for lots of reasons, including it frees up your other fingers to play fretted notes if you're not using the slide. You want to tune your guitar to an open tuning. Open G is a great idea. The letters you see there go from the fattest string to the skinniest string, D, G, D, G, B, D. Your second, third, and fourth strings are already tuned that way. Second string is already a B, right? Third is already G, fourth is already D. Keep your left hand, the hand with a slide on it, keep that as relaxed as possible. When you slide your slide with the lightest touch possible. The slide is just gliding on the strings, right? I found it extremely helpful for myself, and I can't 100% explain why, to put my left leg, I'm a right-handed person, by the way, left leg up on some sort of footrest and rest the sliding guitar on my left leg. It just, something about that, I just realized very quickly I played better that way. So I encourage you to try that. Your left hand fingers should always touch. Where's my slide? Your left hand fingers, the ones that don't have the slide on them, should always be touching the strings lightly. Now that's not intuitive. That might not have occurred to you. Those essentially are muting all the strings so you don't get any crazy noises. Depending on, regardless of what you're doing with your slide, you only want the listener to hear the sound that the slide is making on whatever individual string you're plucking. You don't want to hear all the other sounds. And believe me, guitars can be noisy, especially electric guitars, but any acoustic guitars too. So your left hand fingers, right? See that? Touching multiple strings or potentially even all strings, unless you're supposed to be plucking an open string, right? Okay. Your right hand fingers, this is assuming you're a right hand player, will often need to mute out a string even after they pluck it. Like you pluck a note, and then as you're going on and plucking some other string, you often have to mute out the ones you just plucked. Yeah, it's a pain. It's a pain. You get good at it pretty quickly because it sounds so good when you get it right. The slide should always end up directly above an indicated fret, not behind. So if it says slide up to 5, your slide should be, right above the 5th fret. You put your finger a little bit behind the 5th fret, and really anywhere behind the 5th fret is okay. That's not how slide guitar works. You want to be right above the fret. There's very little margin for error, because you'll sound like you're potentially out of tune. To the best of your ability, only touch individual strings with the extreme tip of the slide. Yeah. So I know it's a little bit tricky to see. There are times when you'll angle in your slide to touch only one string. Just be prepared for that. There are times when your slide will be flat, touching all the strings, but there's a lot of other times when you'll be in just touching one string. I know it's a little bit hard to see, but just be prepared for that angling in and touching just one string. I'm cracking myself up. One of the tips is do not watch Derek Truck's videos because he's too good. It's on the list. I'm just reading what it says on the list. Your left palm should be away from the neck a little bit. Gently push your left wrist out a little bit. Okay. Your left thumb should be pointing straight up towards the ceiling. Yeah, basically. Not parallel. You don't want your left thumb parallel to the neck. Okay. When progressing from an open string to a fretted note, fretting means a note that your slide is touching. Your left hand finger should touch the strings just before the slide does. In effect, you're muting out the open string. So you're kind of, you're muting out the ringing open string to keep things clean. Okay, so I stand by everything on that list, especially the Derek Trucks comment. But I realize that's a ton of information, and I fully intend to do like a slide program, which will touch on all those topics. But J. Paul, you can't see that list? No. Can anybody see that list? I see your comment, J. Paul. Anybody see that? Someone let me know. Because it's a beautiful list. You just heard me read through the list, but you should be seeing it on your screen. Anybody? Okay, yeah. Randy can see it. Maybe it took a minute. I don't quite understand why sometimes when I do a screen sharing, some of you see it right away, and some of you it takes a minute. I don't know. Okay, so I'll say this: everything on that sheet, on that list, is awesome, important, valid, true, accurate information. That's not how we usually teach. I don't just say, oh, here's a list of tips. Good luck with that. But in a nutshell, though, that's my advice. And all those things I intend to touch on when I do come up with a program. If you come across online video on slide guitar that contradicts any of those things, I'd be very curious. Let me know. I'd be very curious. I mean, some people might not mention all those things, which there's only so many hours in the day. I get that. And some people might not emphasize it quite as much as I do. And some people might have I hope people have more tips than that, Okay, Benjamin got a screenshot. Excellent. Okay, love it. Okay, hey, you guys. How about, last thing, the actual slide. How do you know if a slide fits right? It is good to have a little bit of your finger showing through, right? You don't want it so long that you can't see the tip of your finger. Obviously snug enough that it stays on, not so snug that you can't get it off again, right? So for whatever reason, I can't really believe this, but I can hold my finger upside down. There's enough friction. This is a pretty heavy brass slide. There's enough friction on my skin that it doesn't immediately fall off. It's just the sweet spot, you know? It's snug enough. If you have one that's a little bit too big, you don't necessarily have to return it. Dr. Scholl's moleskin pads, that nice, soft, you know, furry stuff with adhesive on the back. You get it at Walmart or drugstore or wherever. You cut a strip of that and put that in there, and that fills in the space nicely. So that's an option too. Probably feels good, you know. I don't have that in this slide, but so why do I use a brass slide if I don't necessarily recommend it? A lot of my slide playing is on my Dobro brand Dobro, with slightly heavier strings, and the action is cranked up kind of high, so I can lean into it and play potentially with a little bit of a heavier touch. This is absolutely the wrong slide for electric guitar. I can already feel it when I go to play. Hear that buzz? No bueno. That's because the slide's too heavy. I could try to play with even a lighter touch, but instead of trying so hard to adapt to the slide and play with an extremely light touch, it's way smarter to use a lighter slide, you know, ceramic, different types of glass. Keep in mind, the one advantage of a metal slide, it's never going to break. And potentially you could drop slide after slide and break them over and over again, just because ceramic and Pyrex and different types of glass, they break, you know. Okay. So, yeah, J. Paul, I think I see what you're saying, that it was hard to see what I was doing because of the how small my little thumbnail was compared to thing. That's okay. The tips are the important thing. And someday I really would like to do thing. Okay, so hey, you guys, let's do our play along song of the week. Now I'm going to try an experiment. Why am I doing this experiment? Because YouTube keeps demonetizing my videos every time I do this with you guys. So there's the song of the week. And I'll tell you why this is an experiment. Week after week, within about 10, 20 minutes of the end of our live stream, I get an email from YouTube saying, hey, you're using copywritten material, protected material during your live stream. And for that reason, you will either receive zero money or you're going to be sharing whatever money is coming in with the owner of the copywritten material. Which, on the one hand, I get it. I mean, someone wrote these songs and they deserve to be compensated. If I wrote it, I'd want to be compensated. Having said that, seriously? So I'm not going to say the name of this song because I'm curious. You know, clearly there's, you know, the AI bots are out there. So I'm curious how they are aware so quickly whatever song is being performed during this live stream. Is it because I say it? Is it because I'm singing it? Is it because I put it in the description of the video, which I haven't done yet? So I'm not going to do any of those things yet. And hopefully you can see the name of this song and the performer. I chose this song because there's only 3 chords and most of the song are only 2 chords. So the experiment part of this is I want to see if I still get demonetized by YouTube, even if I don't say the name of the song, because that would narrow it down to my singing or the guitar playing and the singing. I don't know how else they would know what we're doing here. So if I don't get demonetized instantly, as usual, maybe like tomorrow morning, I will type in the name of the song in the description and see if that raises the red flags. It doesn't happen every week, but it's a little disheartening to know that the small amount of money that these live streams would generate from YouTube, essentially becomes zero. It's just because, it's fun to play a song with you guys. So I don't want to stop doing this because, I know, to me, it's like why we're all here, like it's fun to play a song and learn a new song. Anyways. Okay. So right now we're going to begin a quick prep for this, and then we're going to play it and sing it and have fun and not going to worry about anything. I'm going to try really hard not to say the name of the song or the performer, the songwriter. Okay. You need A7, and I'm A7 is the easy 2-finger version. I'm using my middle and ring. There's your A7, also known as an A with a hole in the middle. You need a D7. Okay. You need an E7, and I'm going to do the easiest possible E7, the E7, an E with a hole in the middle. Okay, there's my E7 right there. Those of you who know other ways of playing all three of these chords, knock yourself out. I honestly believe these are the three that are being used in the actual song. In fact, I know that D7 is because of this riff. Okay, so there's your fretting hand preparation, 3 chords. In terms of your picking hand preparation, here's my A7, open A string, and then a light series of brushes on the approximately 4 treble strings, down, down, up like this. That's it. D7, almost the exact same thing, except I'm hitting the open D string first. That's that 0 right there. And the songwriter does a quick little cute melodic thing where he lifts his index finger away from the D7 and then puts it right back. Hear that little thing? Okay, you have to do that. It's like the only thing the song asks is that nice little melodic thing. When I play it for you guys, with you guys in a moment, I'm going to try to do that every single time. Listen closely, watch closely. I wouldn't be surprised if once in a while I forget to do that because I'm thinking about the lyrics or whatever. But okay, you put this together, and that by far is the heart of the song. It's the intro, it's the verse, it's something that the songwriter vamps on during a solo section. In slow motion, I'm going to repeat this A7, D7 business. Okay, pretty straightforward stuff, right? There's a moment in this song, I'm going to have to say a few of the words in a second. When it finally breaks out of this pattern, essentially going into the chorus of the song, imagine you're strumming along, you're doing the A, da, da, da. You start the D, and right on this word, this S word right here, S-E-A-S-O-N, right on that word, that's exactly when the song finally changes. And I strongly suggest doing 2 E7 strums. That's like your transitional moment. From there, you're going into the actual chorus. We'll talk about the chorus in a second, okay? Instead of telling you, hey, this top riff here, this top thing, do it, 17 times, and then the 18th time you do this, that's not a healthy, smart way to do it. It's best just to know the song and feel when this transition is happening. Must be the blankety blank of the blank. Okay, so you'll see me do this, and you can all obviously go back and listen to his original. In fact, that's the whole point, is to play along with his original version of the song. On that D7 must be the is that thing right there. The E7s is season of the, okay? So here's my D7. This is, let's call this a transitional moment. D7 must be the E7, season of the, okay? Oh, can you hear the bots? The bots are going crazy right now. A to Z Me says music copyright on YouTube is sadly only gonna get worse. Yeah. That's, and hey, that'd be great if this man right here and his family got all the money. I mean, then at least the money's going to I don't know. I believe this very talented gentleman has passed away, I believe. Okay, so once you make it through that transitional thing, the exact strumming becomes less important. So I'm going to strongly encourage you to do 8 downstrokes on the A7. Just nice and light, all downstrokes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4 more on the D7, 4 more on the E7. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that strumming just continues over and over again. By the way, a lot of people have covered this song, like lots and lots and lots. Lana Del Rey covered it not that long ago. So younger people from Stephen Stills and was that the Super Sessions, Stephen Stills, Mike Bloomfield, and someone else. Not everyone does it in this key. Lana Del Rey does it in this key. The Stephen Stills Super Session thing, they did it with D7 going to G7. So the key of D, basically. Scott Rhodes, the gentleman, is still around. He's still with us. I hope so. That'd be great. Because then he would get the money, right? I mean, if they want to. Okay, I'll leave it. So that is the entire song. There's a solo section in the middle, about 2.5 minutes in, which just has some kind of cool organ, a few little guitar notes. But in the background is just this A7, D7. Oh yeah, Scott Rhodes, Vanilla Fudge did a version of it. Yep, a lot of people. A very cool song. Oh, by the way, why are we even doing this song? Because Halloween, right? It's October. It's Rocktober. In fact, I've been wanting to do this song for months and months and months, and I've been saving it. I couldn't wait any longer. I know Halloween is still 26 days away, but I couldn't wait any longer. Okay, so this nameless song, you ready to do it? Again, I'm going to try to be as consistent as possible, and we'll see how that works out for me. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. I'm not going to do all 4 minutes of the song, because by the time you go through this a couple of times, that's it. So I'm going to do like intro, verse, chorus, verse, chorus. Okay, I'm ready if you're ready. See you on the other side. When I look out my window, many sights to see. When I look in my window, so many different people to be, and it's strange, so strange. You gotta pick up every stitch. You've gotta pick up every stitch. You've gotta pick up every stitch. Must be the season of the witch. Must be the season of the witch. Must be the season of the witch. When I look over my shoulder, what do you think I see? Some other cat looking over his shoulder at me. And he's strange, sure is strange. You've gotta pick up every stitch. You gotta pick up every stitch. Beatniks are out to make it rich. Oh no, must be the season of the witch. Must be the season of the witch. Must be the season of the witch. All right, pretty straightforward, right? I can read some of your minds. The answer is A minor pentatonic. If you want to solo along with that, easiest way for most of us, 5 7, sorry, 5 8, 5 7 5 7 5 7 5 8 5 8, right? My nickname for that is the headquarters pattern, the A minor pentatonic scale, up at the 5th fret, 5 8 on the fat string, and then 5 7 5 7 5 7, back to 5 8 on the B string, and 5 8 on the E string. Great scale to use to solo along with this song. Do I have any other big words of wisdom? Of course, you could get fancy with the strumming, but that is at the heart of it. That's what's going on with the right hand, with the strumming hand. There's a cool thing in the very, oh yeah, Caddis says, I know the song because I heard it in Blues Brothers 2000. Yeah, that not as influential as the original Blues Brothers movie, but if it had an influence getting this song out there, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I didn't even know that was in that movie until today. I was just looking at all the covers of it. In case you're curious, one last little detail. If you want to be really, really authentic to the original version, in the very, very beginning, there's one little twist. And imagine on the D7, this is in the intro before the words even come in, instead of hitting the open D string, you substitute the 6th string, fat string, 2nd fret. That is what you hear in the very beginning. If you want to get really accurate. In slow motion, here's my A. So for the record, is it still a D7 chord? It would be described as a D7 slash F sharp, because that note is an F sharp note. I'll give you 2 ways of doing it. What I just did there might, well, I got my A7. My middle finger reaches over 6th string, 2nd fret. My index is where it was going to be anyways for the D7, 2nd string, 1st fret. My ring finger, oh yeah, there you go, in the pinky. Okay, so my ring finger, 3rd string, 2nd fret. My pinky, 1st string, 2nd fret. So I'm going to take away my middle finger for a second. There's the D7 still exists, just with a different combination of fingers, index, ring, and pinky. And then my middle finger is